Neural-based learning is a methodology designed to work with the way that your brain learns best. It accelerates your performance, it increases the retention of your material, and it integrates your material in the way that you need to use it out in the real world. One example outside of the fire service that may translate to some of the things that you do every day is, for instance, in the training I provided professional race car drivers, like the BMW professional race team. Like you guys, they are in a very high-risk environment. They have to make decisions very quickly under stress. They're wearing a helmet, they've got their gear down. They have to make decisions based on how fast they process things they see and what they feel. Working with those drivers, I was able to increase their ability to see more within the limits of their gear, and to be able to perform better under extreme stress to the point where they were able to win consistently in their very competitive environment. The reason that it worked, and the drivers were so successful with this, was because we were able to coach their minds with their full cooperation into a more efficient and faster use of the visual information that was presented to them. This dramatically increased their performance and the retention of their advanced skill set while under stress. Now, this is something that every top race car driver has always done. What we did was study the performance of those people and find ways not only to tweak even more performance out of those top performers, but then to take that skill set that those top performers didn't even know they had and put it into a fashion that you can learn in 1 to 3 minutes. And that's what we're doing today. One of the ways that we're going to present this information to you is different than traditional training. We're not really going to do it in a lecture format. We're going to work on guiding you through the process of using your mental platform, your visual skills, and your internal kinesthetics in a way that's different than you learn in a classroom. When you follow along with this, you will be able to do these skills in real time. The first skill that we're going to give you today is how to dramatically enhance your peripheral vision in a matter of a few moments and keep that for the rest of your life. This technique is modified from the training for astronauts and fighter pilots who, in an environment that translates to firefighters, they have to work helmeted up with breathing gear on. They have to work in confined, dangerous, sometimes smoky environments where vision can be impaired. Greater use of your peripheral vision and enhancing the natural use of that greater information gives you better situational awareness about where you are, where your partners are, and where hazards are in an environment. The first exercise we're going to do is increase your peripheral vision. We're going to do that right now. Your body has a certain baseline. In other words, you hold your muscles, your head, and your posture a certain way. This is affected by your physical fitness, by injuries, by certain habits you have of carrying your body. The first thing we're going to do is establish the baseline of his peripheral vision as it is right now. Your body has a habitual way of holding itself, which is related to your physical fitness, injuries, how often you move around, the amount of weight you're carrying. So what we're going to do is find out what this firefighter's baseline peripheral vision is. In this exercise, I'm going to take my chest, I'm going to press it up between his shoulder blades. This will give you the most accurate index. I'm going to extend my hands out to either side. I'm going to tell the firefighter to gaze straight ahead, relax, the way he would normally look, and let me know when he sees both of my hands move into his peripheral vision. And I'm going to do that now.
Now.
Then I'm going to have the firefighter look to his left and the right. He can see where his peripheral vision baseline is right now. Now what we're going to do is improve your peripheral vision immediately by a simple exercise that will let you notice where your baseline is and then change it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my finger up on the top of the helmet or on the crown of the head. And I'm going to tell the firefighter to just unlock the muscles in his neck. so that my finger is driving the head and the helmet. I'm going to ask him to notice the difference in what he feels, specifically in his facial and neck muscles when I do this. Then, going through the same points that I did before, chest directly against back, arms indexed out, looking ahead with his eyes relaxed, I'm going to bring my hands into his peripheral vision, and he'll tell me when he sees them both.
Now.
Look to your left and right, and ask the firefighter, do you see an immediate improvement? As you've seen, there's a significant improvement at this point. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the same exercise for one more iteration. I'm going to take my finger, put it up on top, and a key point in the execution of this drill is that your finger drives the head. Don't let the firefighter anticipate the movement. His neck muscles need to be unlocked enough for you to be able to steer his head. And again, remind the person you're coaching to notice the difference in the way the muscles in their face and neck feel at this time, the feeling of it. So at this point, again, main points, chest to back, arms out to the side, firefighter looking straight ahead, relaxed vision. As I move my hands into his peripheral vision, he will tell me when he can see both hands.
No.
Look to your left and right, and you will see a dramatic improvement in your baseline peripheral vision. So what do? We just showed the brain how to see better. We showed the brain to recognize the difference from a habitual state that restricts your peripheral vision to notice when you're in a state of enhanced peripheral vision. So you see better, you see more, you see faster. What we did with this exercise, this very simple exercise, was we recalibrated the way the brain processes visual information. I took my finger, I put it on the top of the firefighter's head. What I did was by moving it around until he unlocked it, I had him notice, and his brain noticed, that he held his muscles in a certain way. By noticing the difference between what he had before and what he had after, the brain recognizes that, hey, when I'm in this other way, I see more, I see better, I see faster. I'm often asked, is this change permanent? Or how many times do I have to train this? Well, look, the change can be permanent with a minimal amount of reinforcement in the first 24 hours after you do this. So how many times a day can you notice the difference in the muscle tension around your eyes and change it? Think how many times you can do that right now, how many times you can do it in a minute, how many opportunities during the day. You don't require a gym, you don't require special equipment. So there really is no limit to how many times you can do this a day. And within approximately 7 sleep cycles, your brain will say, ah, okay, we get it. We need to pay attention to this and change it. And it becomes an automatic pattern in your brain. So immediately upon the conclusion of that initial part of the exercise, here's a really simple way for you to check that it works for you and that you can check through the next 24 hours to see that your peripheral vision has in fact changed. So what I want to ask the firefighter to do is to extend both his hands up to shoulder height, extend his index finger, and then I want him to, on his own, move it within his peripheral vision. Both hands, and stop when he's in his peripheral vision. And now I want him to notice the feelings in his facial muscles and his neck muscles. Consciously relax it by unlocking his neck a little bit more, and then see how much further you can stretch your peripheral vision. Just like that. And he can drop his hands to the side, and he can recapture that feeling in his face. He can check it himself by bringing his hands up again and checking where his peripheral vision starts. And validate the exercise for himself. And to build on the exercise we just did, the firefighter is going to demonstrate how even with his full call-out gear on, he has improved his peripheral vision. He'll go ahead and raise his hands now and calibrate his peripheral vision. And you will see the dramatic improvement even while wearing his SCBA gear. One point to keep in mind with this is to pay attention to the fit of your mask, where the grommet is, where the seals are. You may have something that actually physically inhibits your peripheral vision. Be sure to be clear about the difference between that and the increase of your baseline vision within the inside of your equipment. As I'm sure you already know, maybe from firsthand experience or you've been taught this, stress has an effect on your vision. So you're not going to have the same range of peripheral vision under extreme stress that you might have when you're relaxed. However, what we have found is this: if your baseline vision is here and you're under stress, it's going to go to here. If your baseline vision is here and you're under stress, it'll go to here. Notice the difference. Now this comes from research that was done and validated with NASA on astronauts who returned from long-duration missions in space. What we found was that astronauts who returned had changed their brain by being in a zero-G environment that unlocked the muscles in their necks and their face. And what it did was it dramatically increased their peripheral vision and their visual processing speed, and that this change was in fact permanent.